Welcome to the Visual Basic Instructional Series. In this video, we're going to look at how to start up the Visual Basic environment for the very first time. From your Start menu in the lower left-hand corner of your desktop, just select the program Visual Basic, Visual Studio 2008, and it will pop up. When it opens up, then we will make a new project. When the IDE first appears on the screen, it will look like this. This is not the startup position. If you want to make a brand new project, then you need to go to the File menu and select New Project, or you can click on the little icon on the far left side of the Tools menu. Either way, you will activate this dialog box. There are several things that are very important here. There are several languages in this environment, including C++ and C#. Visual Basic is only one. Make sure that you have chosen Visual Basic from the left-hand pane and Windows Forms application from the right-hand pane. Now, when you have done this, the next thing you'll need to do is to fill in a name for your project down here in this text box. So pick a meaningful project name like Problem 14, or in this case it's our first project. We'll call it My First Project. Do not use the default Windows Application 1 name for your project. When you've done this, click the OK button. That will activate what's called the Integrated Development Environment, which we see here. Okay, at this point you are ready to begin to create your project. The IDE has several work areas. This central area is called the Designer, and this is where your form appears. It's on this form that you're going to add controls in order to create an interface. The controls are shown in the toolbox on the left-hand side, and there are quite a number of these. We're going to start with just a small subset of those, but you can see there's quite a number of controls you can choose from. On the right-hand side, there are two windows. One's called the Solution Explorer, and you'll notice it does contain the name that you assigned as the project. Below that is the Properties window, and you'll be using the Properties window quite a bit because each control has a list of properties that you'll need to set for the behavior, the color, and so on. At the top of the Designer area, there are two tabs. One is the Start page, which is kind of a web browser because there are hot links in there, and the other one is the Designer window. Along the top, above those tabs, the bar with all the little icons is called the Toolbar, not to be confused with the Toolbox, and across the top is the Menu bar. So the Menu bar and the Toolbar are common to almost all Windows applications. As we move along the Menu bar, you can see that there are a number of menus and each one has quite a few selections. Again, that's because the Visual Basic 2008 is quite a rich environment to work with. Now let's look at how we can rearrange the windows and tabs. You can reposition the windows and you can delete things from your integrated development environment. If we want to remove the tab for the Start page, then we can click the X in the upper right hand portion of the Designer. You can also remove the Design window. You can remove all other windows by clicking the X. So we're going to remove all those windows and then we'll see how to restore them. Here we've removed all of the windows and we just have a gray background. One way that you can restore all the windows is to just click the icons on the toolbar. There are icons for the toolbox, which we've clicked to restore it. Here are the Properties window appears, and here's the Solution Explorer. So you can remove these windows and then restore them just by clicking on those icons on the menu bar. The toolbar. If you want to restore your Designer, then you need to double click on the name of the form in the Solution Explorer. Now let's remove the windows again and look at another way that you can restore them. From the View menu, you can select the toolbox and have it reappear. You can also select the Properties window, click on that, and it doesn't show here but it did pop up, and the Solution Explorer. As we zoom back out, you'll be able to see all of those. And from this window, you can also open up the Designer, which contains your form. But remember, if your form doesn't appear, double-click on the name of the form in the Solution Explorer. This environment, again, like most Windows applications, allows you to rearrange the sub-panes within your application. And if you want to do that, you can just place the cursor on the title bar of any of these sub windows and then drag it, just kind of tear it off. So we're going to pull this one away so that we now have what's called a floating window for the Solution Explorer. Now we'll tear off the Properties window, so both of those now are floating. And there's a tear away for the toolbox. I'm sorry. If you want to redock any of these, then grab their title bar and move it according to these little guide arrows that show up each time you move one of your windows. They will tell you by highlighting in blue where the window will go when you release the cursor or release the mouse button. And you can put these windows anywhere that you want. Now, some of them are not optimal. In this case, I wouldn't want my toolbox to be across the top, but if you want to put it there, you can. To put it back where we found it, we're just going to move it over to the left using the guide arrow and release. Okay, so you can use tearaway windows if you want. You can also nest these windows one inside the other. So in this case, the Properties window has been torn off. We'll tear off the Solution Explorer and place it inside the Properties window. Now you can select between the Solution Explorer and Properties window by clicking the tabs at the bottom. So this gives you a floating window, but yet still conserves the real estate on your workspace. If you want to unnest them, just grab the tab and pull the window back out again. There are also windows that kind of slide in and out. You can also control this by clicking on the little push pin. So if you want your windows to slide in and out, then you can have the push pin horizontal, hover over it, and the window slides in. When you're finished with it, it slides out. If you want to keep these pinned into place, then click on the little push pin icon and it will pin them to make them stay visible. Okay, now let's do a little problem. We're going to make the form turn red. We're going to make a red background. So we select the form, and in the Properties window we're going to choose the back color property, then click on the little arrow to the right. When you do this, a palette of colors shows up. Then you just click the color that you want, and that color is chosen as the back color for the form. So here we've just created a form with a red background. Okay, now to save everything that you've done, let's look at how that takes place. Okay, from the File menu, you can do a Select All from there. And when you've done that, a dialog box will pop up. And in this case, you'll see it has the name of our project, my first project. And below that, you're going to set the location. So we want to set the location to be the C drive, the temp folder, and we're going to make a folder with our name to put everything in that. So navigate to Computer, C drive, the folder with your name on it, and we'll create a new folder, and we'll name that folder for the project that we want to save, and we'll call that, say, my first project here. And then when that's done, we're just going to choose that as the location, and it shows up now in our dialog box. So we have the name and we have the location where we want to save everything. The final thing is we want to uncheck the box that says Create Directory for Solution. This is just a minor thing which will minimize the number of folders. Then when we're done with all that, we'll click Save, and our project is saved. Okay, we didn't get a verification that it saved the files, so let's go look in that folder and see what's really there. Alright, so let's navigate to the folder, C drive, temp, harden, and here's the folder that we just made called My First Project. When we open that up, we'll see that inside that there's another folder called My First Project. This is what was created by the IDE environment, and when we open that, you're going to see a list of several files that are in there. 3 will be folders, and the others are just going to be files of various kinds. This is what you should expect to see whenever you save a project. There will be 9 or 10 different things in this folder when you save everything. So now that you've verified that you do have everything saved, you can exit the integrated development environment, and we're done. Now let's compare. Let's go look at the folder. Oh, here we're going to move these files now to our thumb drive. So insert your thumb drive, and you will want to create a folder. And suppose this is your homework. Then on your thumb drive, you need to create a folder for your homework. In this case, we're just going to call it, well, it's CS100 homework, just for example. So this is the thumb drive, and you created a folder here. Up above it, we have the list of all the files that we just saved from my first project. We want to drag that entire folder containing all those files down onto the thumb drive. You want to drag the entire folder because you might accidentally lose some of those individual files if you try to do them one by one. Okay, verify that you do have all of those 9 things on your thumb drive by opening up the folder that you've just copied. And then, when you've done that, then you've completed a project and you're ready to turn that in. Alright, this completes the Getting Started tutorial.